Hey guys, and welcome back to Divine Journey 2. So last episode we worked our way through the Astral Sorcery Chapter, and hopefully today we can finish it off by unlocking Galacticraft. So we started off by creating our Astral Sorcery Crafting Altar, and also getting some liquid starlight production up and running, as well as making the Astral Sorcery Attunement Altar, which can give us access to all of the astral perks. We are currently level 22 by now. We also set up production for Star Metal, which meant that we were able to craft up the Starlight Infuser, and last episode we actually placed it right here, but I've decided this is not a good spot for this. It really has to be moved. So instead, I think it's going to go over on this side of the base, next to this farm, and we'll have it somehow connect up to this blood magic area. Alright, yeah, I think this is a much better place for this infuser, and I did have this whole elaborate setup to try to automate the placement of these fluids, which we need to be able to craft with the Starlight Infuser. We basically have to ensure that we always have fluids placed in these 12 slots. However, the quest book I think is wrong in this occasion, and we have to wait until we have access to the Containment Chalice here in Astral Sorcery. So it's not going to be too long before we can automate this, but yeah, I guess we don't need any of this anymore. And we can just use the ender tank to manually place the fluids as we need it. We can, however, still hook up a ME interface to this, which will supply the mechanical user with both the sparkling aquamarine to create resonating gems, and magical leather for star leather. And then we have a second mechanical user to activate the resonating wand to start the craft, and a ranged collector to pick up the outputs. And since the mechanical user stole our wand, we're going to make a second one here. Alright, so our first major goal for today is to get access to the Iridescent Altar. And to do that we have to upgrade our Celestial Altar to the Iridescent tier. A lot of these materials we can already make. We can make these sooty marble arches, all of the rimmed marble, the condensed V crystals, and I believe we can also make the coloured lenses now. However, we are missing two materials. First one is the Enchanter's PhD, and also an attuned celestial crystal. Let's do the Enchanter's PhD first. So this is a custom item to this pack, and we need 4 different enchantments here, all of which I believe we can only get from Astral Sorcery. So to get our Astral Sorcery enchantments, we have to use the Stellar Refraction Table, which is something I've actually never used from Astral Sorcery. So I'm actually quite interested to find out how this thing works. I believe though we do need to discover some more constellations. Oh, that's a cool effect. But yeah, I guess let's just craft this and find out. Oh, the quest also wants us to make some infused glass for this. Okay, so this takes some of our stardust, some more resonating gems, and the tier 4 photovoltaic cells. Okay, I think we're missing a few recipes since we haven't used solar actually in a long time, so it turns out we were actually missing all of the cells. I mean, I guess I must have batch crafted these before, but we're going to add the recipe for the infused glass. And we can ask the Applied Energistic System to put the items in this crate where we can just manually craft with them. So I think we have enough for at least one of these things. Need some more nocturnal powder. Oh, but yeah, we don't have enough starlight for this craft. However, I do believe we have unlocked a way to fix that using the Imperfect Ritual Stone. So with the Imperfect Ritual Stone, we can place this down, block of lapis on top, and when we right click this, it instantly turns it to nighttime, which is amazing for Astral Sorcery. This now gives us enough starlight to be able to craft with, and we can make our infused glass. And the quest. Alright, so now we have to figure out how the Stellar Refraction Table works. So I've put on the infused glass, and I think from what I read we have to overlap some of these constellations. However, to get the enchantments we're looking for, so we need power, mending, sharpness, and feather falling, we also need to discover some of the secondary and tertiary constellations. So to do that, we need to have some more constellation paper. I noticed there was some from Quest Rewards. And this one, it looks like, gave us Horologium and Fornax. The Horologium one is actually one of the more rare ones, and it only appears every 36 Minecraft days. So if it appears here, we definitely want to grab that. Hold on, is this Horologium? No, I don't think it was. I think it's one of the ones that we don't have the constellation for yet, which means we can't discover it in the looking glass. So I guess we order up some more constellation papers and try to discover the rest of the constellations. Alright, so we've now discovered all of the major and secondary constellations. It actually didn't take me too long, especially with the use of this imperfect ritual stone. I think I mentioned before we had to discover the tertiary ones, but to be able to see those we need the Observatory down here, which means we need the Iridescent Altar first, so I guess this isn't necessary for the Enchanter's PhD here. More on that in a second though. I did also start the very long process of growing celestial crystals. So this process starts by throwing a piece of stardust and a regular rock crystal into some starlight, and eventually it will grow into this cluster, where it will give you a celestial crystal. And similar to the mystical agriculture seeds, there is 3 stats on this crystal. To level up and boost the stats in this thing, I've built this little contraption over here. I mean, it's not much, it's just it's just 12 pools of liquid starlight, which are being fed by these integrated dynamics world fluid exporters. And so when you throw these celestial crystals in world, they have no despawn timer. So to increase the size, you just have to leave it in the pool of starlight, and every now and then it will consume one, like that one just did there. The maximum size is 900, so when it reaches 900, it has a chance to split in 2, and you will duplicate the celestial crystal. However, when it splits, it does lose some of the size. When the celestial crystal splits, there is a chance also for the purity to go up. So I have a few here that are actually quite decent in terms of purity. This one's 96, this one's 98 even. And yeah, this one here is also purity 100, which is really good. And the final stat, the cutting stat, is increased with the Astral Sorcery Grindstone. So this will sacrifice some of the size and also increase the cutting. So yeah, it's basically just a balancing of the size and the purity. But eventually you do end up with the max stats one, which is 900 size, 100 purity, 100 cutting. And these are the celestial crystals we're after. But yeah, to make this grindstone, I did have to make up another LightningCraft Lightning Crusher, which was a ton of fun. So now that we've discovered all of the constellations we need, let's try to work on this Enchanter's PhD, which is to get all of these enchantments. And these celestial crystals will be important for later on. I just wanted to get the growing process started for these things. Alright, so the way that this refraction table works, I believe, is we have to use our infused glass here. I did already try this once and put 3 different constellations on there, but this doesn't give us a high enough enchant. So one of the enchants we're looking for the Enchanter's PhD is sharpness, which comes from Dissidia. Oh, I think there's actually, yeah, there's a chance for the parchment to burn up there, but we basically have to overlap these Dissidia constellations. I'm not actually sure if it's possible to overlap this one. I mean, without doing this. But that just keeps burning the parchment. Okay, that works. Let's try to add a 3rd one. Oh, that actually worked. Yeah, so now we have our engraved glass at Dissidia. So now I think we can take off the parchment and put on a blank book. And this will remove one durability from the engraved glass and hopefully enchant this book with the sharpness that we need. Nice, we got sharpness and power from this. So we need power 8 and sharpness 8. And we got power 8 and sharpness 8, nice. So I guess let's remove one of the enchantments off this thing. So we can use the enchantment extractor for this. And this will separate out the books that we need for the craft. Alright, so that's 2 enchantments down. We still need Featherfallen 5 and Mending 3. So the Featherfallen comes from Visio, which is a major constellation. That shouldn't be too difficult to get. However, the Mending comes from Horologium, which is the one I mentioned only appears every 36 Minecraft days. And when it appears, I want to make sure that we have celestial crystals to attune to this as well. This is also going to be used for later on. Alright, I managed to get an engraved Visio. Hopefully this gives Featherfallen. It does, awesome. Okay, we're still just waiting on Horologium though. So I'd calculated out the day here, and we have to wait until 2304, and that should be when Horologium spawns. I've got a lot more sleeping to do. The next night should be 2304, which should be Horologium. It does show up. It took a little while, but the calculations were correct. Okay, so we're going to start off by attuning some of these crystals, and let's also get some parchment on here, and we'll do triple Horologium. Oh, and we got the celestial crystal. Let's get 2 just because. Did we get it? You know what, let's just make it 3 crystals while we have Horologium here. Nice, so we got the Featherfallen, we got the power, we got sharpness, we just need the Mending book. So we got 3 Avitas for the engraved glass, and our Mending 3 book, which means that we can now finally create our Enchanter's PhD. Awesome. So now we're definitely not too far away from this Iridescent Altar. The last thing we need is these coloured lenses actually. So these coloured lenses actually take 9 of these regular lenses, which is a lot of HDPE sheets, and I'm glad we automated that last episode. And unfortunately we have to stand here and fill this pool manually for like 40 of these resonating gems, but it shouldn't be too bad with this reservoir. Alright, so we got 2 spectral lenses. And so the last piece we need here for the Iridescent Altar is an attuned crystal. And since it doesn't actually matter what the stats for this thing are, we're just purely using it for crafting here. So now we can upgrade the Celestial Altar to the Iridescent Altar. So this does also require some modifications to this multi-block. But I think instead of building it up here, we're actually going to move, at this point, move all of our astral stuff from here down to the new location in the base over there. Alright, so I moved all of our multi-blocks down to this new area of the base, and I'm actually quite pleased with how all of this lined up. Maybe apart from this farm here. I think that's going to have to get moved. But we upgraded our structure to now have a valid Iridescent Altar to craft with. I replaced the Attunement Altar with the Stellar Refraction Table, and we now have this new structure here. This is the multi-block structure required for the Celestial Collector Crystal, and when we link this to the altar, this basically ensures that we always have maximum starlight. So we can even craft with this thing during the day, and we don't have to put it in the concentrated star field that's right around there. So yeah, I also made up some star leather to get this quest, and to move on, there's actually a few options we have available to us now. The first thing I'd like to get though is this prism, which is quite the craft here. It's going to require some more conducted impetus, some more infused glass, and an impetus cell. Man, this is going to be a lot of crafting here to get this. But we also need the prism lens. Yeah, this is actually just more of the same. It's just going to be a lot of grinding of resources. Okay, let's start with the impetus actually. So to craft the impetus, as you might remember, we have to use our Thaumcraft Pearl. But we do only have 5 durability left on this thing. To repair it though, we need some tool poppets, which are the very expensive bewitchment items. So I'm wondering here how many we can request. Let's try to get 12. Some living matter. Mana diamonds, I think that'll just be a buffer issue. And some more magical leather. And so to make our living matter, we have to use some of the dirt from the other dimensions. I think we can use Abyssocraft dirt or Aether dirt in this case. I haven't had to do this since the first time we made it, so hopefully we can just keep getting away with doing this. Okay, we'll also throw some more blood infused leather to get the magical leather going. And we'll just do 2 stacks for now. Okay, I fixed the buffer on the diamonds. Now can we request our poppets? We can, nice. Alright, this will take a while to craft though. Alright, let's just see what else we need for this. So 2 more infused glass, I think we can request these. Yeah, let's get those going as well. And I guess we'll need the prism lens. And actually for this craft, I think it does matter what the stats of the rock crystal you use for this are. But since we're not using this as the prism lens function, basically this allows you to shine starlight in multiple locations, rather than just the point-to-point connection that you get straight from the collector crystal. We're just using it in a crafting recipe, so I don't think it's going to matter for us. But yeah, we're just waiting on the poppets for this impetus. Alright, 5 conducted impetus. Let's go say hello to our friend in the Twilight Forest. Actually, I wonder if he's still here. Oh, he's definitely still here. He's definitely here. Okay, we need an impetus drainer and the recharge pedestal. And the last time I was doing this, actually a few days ago, I did crash the server doing this. I don't know if it's related to this or not. It could have been LightningCraft, but hopefully there's no issues this time. Alright, so after an insane amount of crafting and preparation for this, we have our prism and our quest. Nice, so to move on, I think we actually have to take a break from Astral Sorcery, and I'll explain why in a second. But basically we have to craft this Observatory, and our goal to finish out this pack here is to unlock this Galacticraft ingot. To craft this ingot though, we need the Star of Revelation, and to craft this thing, well it's yeah, a lot more resources, but we also need this Astral Core, which involves our prism that we just made, and we do also have to have specific attuned celestial crystals, and these have to be attuned to the tertiary constellations that we don't have access to yet, unless we were to craft this Observatory. However, to get the Observatory, we need this cell from LightningCraft, and not too long before I started recording this video, there was actually a patch for the mod pack, so we're on 2.9.1, and guess what? We have a multi-block for this LightningCraft stuff now, so no more infusion tables. We can actually create this in the LightningCraft infusion matrix. So let's take a little detour from Astral Sorcery, and man, I'm so excited to get this up and running. No more TPS issues. The only problem is these are expensive multi-blocks. Each infusion matrix multi-block requires all of these materials. And this will be our first modular machine as well, so I think we'll have to set up Modularium, which is going to involve the Ender Alloy. Oh, actually, we made the Ender Alloy last episode. Smoky Quartz from Botania. Should be an easy enough recipe to add. However, we do have to make Mirian, which is going to be another Empowerer setup. with Elementium, Terra Steel, Cobalt, and Mana Steel. So I was going to add a separate Empower setup for Mirian, but we can actually just repurpose this one we have. This used to be doing Empowered Crystal Bundles, which were then used for Elevatium. However, we're now doing Elevatium on this extended crafting core instead. And this recipe no longer requires the Empowered Crystal Bundles. So instead I've just filtered all of the items into the laser relays and put a processing pattern in this ME interface for Mirian. So this means we have Mirian on request now, and it should automatically get sent back into our ME system. Yeah. Alright, so this is going to be a lot of recipe encoding. First of all, we need the machine controller. I think the quantum discs we should already have a recipe for. We'll have to upgrade our lightning energy cell to the advanced version, and we'll need quite a lot of modular machinery machine casing. Oh, and the reason, by the way, this quest says it's complete is just because it shared the same quest ID. I'm not sure which quest used to be here before, but some of the things have moved around in this chapter, and they changed some of the prerequisite requirements for some of these things. So yeah, that's why it appears as complete even though we don't have this yet. So since we need a decent amount of this demon stone, which is actually quite annoying to make in the infusion crafting, we need demonic elixirs for this, which takes demon hearts, and this is a whole rabbit hole to jump down. Apparently, these blocks actually spawn in some of the structures in the underworld. A few guys left some comments about that, so I'm curious to see if we can find any here, just to save crafting them on the infusion matrix. Wait a sec, is that our demon stone? Demon stone bricks and skeletal guards. Can we turn this into regular demon stone? Oh, we can chisel this. Oh, that's awesome. Look how much there is here. Nice. We're going to take all of this. So I'm not sure if it's going to be necessary to have more than one of these multi-blocks. Well, I guess we'll see how fast this is. But along with the items listed here in the quest, we also need one of these energy input hatches to input RF. And I believe we don't need to strike any more lightning, so no more flash effects on the screen. Let's see, how much RF per tick do we need? So for the Mystic Ingot, we need 30,000. This core that we want to craft is 50,000 RF a tick. And Superium is also 50,000. I think that's the highest one. Yeah, which means we have to go up to at least the huge energy input hatch. Wow. Okay, so yeah, we need all the tiers below this, I'm assuming, as well. And finally, we'll also need item inputs and outputs, which is a simple enough craft. Actually, we'll need the 4-slot version, yeah. Alright, let's see how this thing is going to look. Is this correct? I think we might just need this cell. And the blueprint? Nice, it does form. Alright, this looks pretty cool actually. Okay, so we give it a power cell on the back for power. And we can even hook this up to AE2 as well. So if we hook up this connection, this should have channels on it. We can put an interface straight on the item input. And you know what, we can even put one on the output as well. Then we can just have patterns for all of the LightningCraft infusion recipes. So now if we request Skyfeather ingots, is this going to craft for us? It is craft. Okay, this is a bit slower than I would have thought, but we're not lagging or crashing our server here, so I'm happy doing this. Yep, and it should have put it back into the ME interface. Oh right, this machine doesn't auto output, that's right. Well, we can just conduit out of this. Nice, that is awesome. So the quest also mentions here that we can actually upgrade this multi-block even further, and we can make it go up to 5 times faster, which is probably actually going to be worth doing, and may mean that we actually don't need to do this on passive anymore. So when I mentioned before about not having to use this lightning charge again, it turns out we actually do still have to use this. And that is to make these guards bone meals, as this can only be made in the lightning crusher, which can only be powered by the air terminal by striking this with lightning again. So I have set this system up. However, we did have this on passive before. So we have over, I think, 15,000. Yeah, there's 5,000 in here, and there's 10,000 guards bone meal here, which will last like forever. So we're not going to have to run this very often, at least. And if we find that we need a lot more of these LightningCraft machines, then we'll add one per recipe down the line. But let's for now try to get this core that we need to progress Astral Sorcery. Okay, and how many of these cores did we need? Just one for the Observatory? Yeah, this should be easy to craft, so long as we put the right hatches on here. It does say not enough energy. Okay, so I think the issue here is that we don't actually have enough energy storage in the energy input hatch. So it can input enough energy, we just don't have enough energy to complete the craft in one go. So to reduce the energy cost, we can use the LE receiver tier 3, which is this receiver over here, but we have to get the tier 2 first of all, which is going to require 2 of these impetus generators, so I guess this is going to be more impetus crystals here. And then the rest of the stuff though, we can upgrade our tier 1s, and this is just a lot of Skyfeather ingots. We do still have 3 durability left, which is quite nice actually. I'm not up for crafting more poppets today. Alright, so 2 impetus generators. And we'll need recipes for the tier 3, which instead of the Thaumcraft item here takes mystical iron blocks, and it also takes the mystical air terminal. Oh hey, the quest reward for the tier 2 actually gives us 4 impetus jewels. I'm happy about that. We could definitely use these. And the tier 3 is just crafting up here. Yeah, the quest does mention here that we do need this tier 3 receiver to decrease the energy cost for this thing. And now can we craft the core? It's processing. Nice, okay. Well, I was a bit worried that wouldn't work actually, but we got there. There's the quest. And while we're upgrading this multi-block, we might as well upgrade the energy cell that was down here. So if we make this mystic instead, which does take some of the cores to craft, this thing will actually double our processing speed of this multi-block. And later we can go up to 5x, but we need to have access to Galacticraft first. So yeah, back to Astral Sorcery I guess. Let's craft up this Observatory, which does also require the Refraction Table. I guess we make another one. If we don't make a second one now, I'm never going to replace this thing. And we also need the Ritual Pedestal, which looks easy enough to craft by now. And a second telescope as well. Alright, so I gathered up all the materials for this observatory. However, as you can see, there's no output here. And that is because we need the Lucerna crystal for this. So we have to, first of all, change our Attunement Altar to that of Lucerna. Thankfully, it is actually out tonight. And we can attune, I think, just any rock crystal. And now we can place our attuned crystal in the top slot of the Iridescent Altar. And we can make our observatory. We're now senior astronomers. Also, this is one of the coolest looking multi-blocks. I mean, it's not really a multi-block, it's more of like a single block, but yeah, this thing looks awesome. So this thing actually allows us to discover the tertiary constellations. So I'm going to have a go at trying to find them all. I think we will need some more constellation paper for this though. Yeah, we have 1 extra. I think there's an extra 4 or 5 to discover. So let's get some more, let's order some more constellation paper. So I wanted to just take a minute here near the end of this video just to give you guys a big thank you for all the support you've shown me on the channel. Even though it's difficult to keep producing this daily content, I do really enjoy it. Otherwise I wouldn't be doing it, right? Also, big shout out to all you guys on Discord as well. If you haven't joined the Discord already, there is a link in the description. There's lots of people on there who are willing to help you if you have any questions, or if you just want to chat. But yeah, we're nearing the end of Divine Journey 2. I mean, we've still got a while to go. But we are what you could almost consider endgame, so it's not going to be too many more episodes. And so I've had a lot of you guys asking what's going to be next for the channel. I do have some big plans on what's coming up next. Obviously we're going to finish off DJ2, I'm having so much fun with this pack. And I do plan to get all the quests one day. But yeah, since starting this pack, the views and the subscriptions have been absolutely crazy, so once again, big thank you everyone. But with that, we've now discovered and attuned 4 different crystals to the tertiary constellations of Alcara, Vorax, Jellu, and Alteria, which we can now put together with our resplendent prism. Man, that's hard to say. And craft a Astral Core. So that was the second to last quest, or third last. We now actually have access to this Containment Chalice, which is why I made 2 ritual pedestals. One was used in the Observatory, and the other one we're going to use here in the Containment Chalice. And to make the chalice, we do need another Bewitchment Goblet. Hopefully not too much Essentia. Nah, like 500. That's like nothing by now. And then we also need the Starfield Glass, which of course we don't have research for, so time to get out the Thaumonomicon again. Okay, I'm assuming it's under Thaumic Augmentation here, somewhere. I wonder if it's down near this Fortified Glass. That seems to be the only other block options that we have on this page. Oh, it wants us to make one of these Warden Sigils. Okay, I did not expect to have to do some more Thaumcraft today, but oh boy. Okay, blank seal. Alright, red plastic block. Okay, this takes more of our HDPE, which we have. Rune of Wrath, some magic tallow, and red niter. And then we need an infused magical core, which is going to take some more of this Garmon Bosia. Oh yeah, this is more Vengeance Essence. Alright, 1 Vengeance Essence. And 2 more spirits should give us 3 Vengeance Essence. Oh man, this process is so slow. Can't even see these spirits either. There's a few zombies. Oh, I think I think I got the villager there trying to save him. And there is the regular blank seal. And we have to crafting core the vengeance essence. You really should make some more of these crafting cores at some point. I think we're going to need them down the line. Oh, wait a sec, we skipped a step. We have to blood infuse this first into Garmonbosia. And now it's working. So now more runic matrix crafts for the Warden Sigil. Oh, you know what? We actually we actually need a second one of these Warden Sigils. This is going to consume it when we get this research. Yeah, once we complete this, it's going to take it off of us, I think. And to make the Starfield glass, we actually need fortified glass, which takes the Warden Sigil. So I guess we go through this process once more. Oh, Thaumcraft. I'm getting some deja vu here. We've done this before. There's the second Warden Sigil, which we have to craft with some Botania Alf glass into the fortified glass. Let's make sure we Thaumcraft scan this, just in case. And then we use our fortified glass with Voidstone, and we get the Dimensional Fracture glass. And this is what we use for our Containment Chalice. Oh no, guys. You know what? I didn't see this thing. Well, I seen this recipe for Star of Revelation, but we need 2 ever-shifting fountains for this, which means 2 more Containment Chalices. And we don't have enough Starfield glass for this, so yeah, that's going to be a fun between episodes for me. So I think we'll wrap up here for today. We are so close to the Star of Revelation, and therefore Galacticraft. We can, however, use this first chalice to automatically infuse the Starlight Infuser. So that's a small win, I guess. But yeah, we're going to wrap up here for today. We're going to come back next time and unlock Galacticraft. However, after progressing through Astral Sorcery today, we've actually unlocked the tier 4 seeds. We will have to attune some more rock crystals to be able to craft each of these seeds, as I think they're all a different constellation. But yeah, this one is the one that uses the Horologium, which I kind of failed on earlier on. But we do need it for this Manulan seed, among other ones as well. So I think we'll start off tomorrow with some more mystical agriculture, and then we're into Galacticraft. But apparently this is very, very resource intensive, so this is definitely going to put our automations to the test. And no doubt we'll have to refine some things as well. So yeah, all that to look forward to tomorrow, but thank you again for watching, and I'll see you all tomorrow for some more Divine Journey 2.